everyone, welcome to our Crazy Crafts Scotland. It's Fiona here, and in this video we're going to have a look at one of my favourite types of colouring books. It used to be my favourite, it's not quite now, but it is up there, and that is the dots, lines and spirals. Now as you can see, I have got two of them here. I've got the Stranger Things one, which is based on the Netflix series, which we all love in this family, and I have also got the Frozen 2 ones. Now, dots, lines and spirals does exactly what it says on the tin. It gives you a lot of pages that have got a lot of dots, a lot of lines or a lot of spirals, and you basically use one colour to colour them in and a picture appears. It is crazily clever. That's one of the things that I like so much about it. When my daughter Brooke, who's just turned 11, first saw it, she said, "Mum, what kind of crazy witchcraft is that?" Because it basically, I'll show you, it starts off as, here's a spiral one. So that is a blank spiral, so you open the page and that is all you see. And then you colour it in starting from here at the outside, and you basically just follow the line round and round and round and round until you get into the very middle, and you end up with something like that. How amazing is that? And of course that, if you watch Stranger Things, that is Elle. And I just think that is amazing. I'm blown away with it. My mind is blown every time. And the other thing I like about it is it's so easy. You don't need to think about it. It's a very mindful colouring book in that you can use the time to think about positive thoughts or just anything at all that maybe something that's on your mind that you're trying to work through, and colouring while you're thinking about it can really relax you. And the fact that you don't need to think about anything, you pick up a colour and you go for it. I just love it. It's so easy, anyone can do it. So that is the spiral one. Let's have a look at an example of the line one. Now with that, you can kind of see that the shape of a face there, but you still have got no idea who it's going to be or what it's going to look like. And as you can see, it's basically just lines that are going across the way. And I usually start at the top and you just, whoops, sorry, I just dropped you. Sorry about that. Yeah, so you just start at the top and you fill in the spaces and the lines. Now you do need to be careful not to colour in the in-between lines because they have to be left blank in order to get the proper effect. Now I will show you a completed line one. There we go. Now as you can see, these lines are diagonal, but it works exactly the same way, whether they're diagonal or vertical or horizontal. But look at that. Would you ever have imagined that that would have started off as a blank page with just lines on it? It is amazing. It makes you feel like you can actually draw, which clearly I can't. But yeah, it is so good. And let's finally have a look at the dots. Now with the dots, you can see the picture slightly clearer than you can with the spirals and the lines, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the picture turns out amazing, as we will see when I turn to this page. If I can find it. There we go, look at that. Absolutely fantastic. What a good effect that has. I just think it is amazing. So that is some from the Stranger Things, and I will show you a couple from Frozen 2. Now I love this Stranger Things one, it is fantastic. Frozen 2 I like, but not quite as much as with the Stranger Things, for a couple of reasons. One is, as you may be able to see here, the lines are quite a bit squigglier, and I do find it slightly harder to colour in than when the lines are straighter, but you can still see it works in exactly the same way. And I will now show you one of the spirals in here. The spirals are pretty much the same. I've not really done an awful lot in the way of spirals in this. In fact, I've not finished any spirals in this book. I've been too busy with the Stranger Things one. I really should do that. I might start one of these on camera just now and finish it for you so that I've actually completed one. But I have completed the dot one of the dot ones in here, or a couple of them actually. Hold on. Now here's a dot one that I have started but not finished in the Frozen 2 book, and the reason I wanted to show you this is because, as you can see there, the dots are going diagonally rather than across. I'll show you the dot one again in Stranger Things. Hold on. So looking at the Stranger Things one, you can see that the dots are in a straight line going either horizontally or vertically, whereas in this one, if you try to do it horizontally, they're all over the place. But if you do it diagonally, it's much easier and they're all in a straight line. That's the only difference really. However, I find that I definitely prefer doing it this way than diagonally. But I'll show you a completed one in Frozen 2. There we go, that is the completed dots one in Frozen 2, and as you can see, the picture still turns out really, really well. And again, yeah, this was diagonal, but as you can see, the picture is fantastic. It really does stick out very, very well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a couple just to let you see how you actually do it. I know it's self-explanatory, but it can be quite daunting when you first get one of the books, not knowing where to start. So I'm going to start one of each, and then I will finish them off camera and show you the completed one once they're done. And then I'll talk to you a bit about where you can get them and the types of books you can get. Now, what I will say is you'll find when colouring these pictures in that darker colours definitely work better than lighter colours. So I'm going to just take this dark blue, and you can use any type of pen that you like. Now, all you do is you start at the outside edge that's got the little tail. You can use any pen that you want. I find that I like using double-ended pens because you can use a thicker tip or chisel tip, whatever type it is, when you're at the bigger bits. But then you've got the option to turn round to go to the finer one when it gets thinner. Right, so that's basically all you're doing. You're starting at the outside and you're following that line right round, like so. This might not be the neatest because I'm sitting at a very awkward angle here. I've not got my setup very well because all sorts of technical problems. We won't go into that. But basically, this is all you do. And as you go, it doesn't matter if you go out the line slightly. That is another good thing about this type of book. If you go out the line slightly, you still get exactly the same image. Right, so that is an idea of how you do it. And like I say, at this point, it looks like absolutely nothing. Now, I'm going to carry on colouring it in off camera, and then I'll show you when it's sort of halfway through and then when it's done, and you'll be able to see the difference. Now, this is very interesting because what I'm noticing as I'm going round here is that I've actually got another blank line at this side. Now, I've not came across any like that in the Stranger Things book. It basically just goes round and round and round. So it looks like as it goes round in a spiral, it's missing one out each time. Now, I did see on, I think it was Lisa's Colouring Corner, that some books do that. It's like you get into the middle and then you double back on yourself. So that's going to be a really interesting one for me to do. I've never done that before. But one thing that I forgot to mention earlier is this is Amazon paper. So you do get bleed through, as you can see. Fiona here forgot to put a blank bit of paper in between to stop bleed through onto your next picture. Rookie mistake, but I do it all the time. So please don't make that mistake. You do ruin your other pictures if you do that. Always put a bit of cardstock or paper or something in between your pages. And the other thing that I meant to say that I was realising as I was going through is when it gets to like an awkward way of colouring, you can just turn the book round and then carry on with your colouring from there. Right, I'll see you in a wee while. So I am now halfway through. I'm enjoying doing this one, although I do find it a bit distracting having the blank lines in between. But now that I've reached the middle, I am ready to start going back. Where am I? Ready to start going back that way again. So it will all be filled in. Now, one thing that I did find with this is I got distracted, had to take a phone call, and when I came back to it, I forgot where I was and I accidentally started colouring that line. It's not going to be an issue because it will be getting coloured as I go back round anyway, but I do find it a little bit confusing having the alternate lines. But yeah, I am enjoying it, and I've just been watching some colouring YouTube channels while I've been doing it. I do like to do that. When I'm doing colouring, I like to watch colouring channels, and when I'm doing diamond painting, I like to watch diamond painting channels. So the good thing about this is because I don't need to think about what I'm doing, I can concentrate on the videos that I'm watching as well. Now, at this point, I have got no idea what the picture is going to be. Whereas with the normal spirals that you don't go back on yourself, usually by the halfway point, you've got a fair idea of what it's going to be. But at this point, it's still a mystery. So I'm going to carry on and I'll let you see what it is once I'm finished. There we have it. It's Elsa. Not as clear as some of them that I've done. And I have to say it was rather awkward going back the way. It was like colouring clockwise, just didn't feel right. Not my favourite, I have to say. Definitely not my favourite, but I did enjoy doing it, and you can see that it's Elsa. So yeah, quite nice. So next one I'm going to do is one of the line ones. Right, I think I'll do this one. This is still in the Frozen 2 book. And I'm going to go for a little change of colour. I'm going to go for a dark grey. And I'm going to remember to put my paper in so that I don't mess up the next picture. So I'll just pop that in there. Oh, wait, now I missed a page, That was close. Yeah, you can really see that's going to be Elsa. That's a very clear one, that dot one. Right, so I'm going to pop that in and I'm going to start. Now, when you're doing these ones, again, it's going to be quite awkward because of my weird setup here, but can we still see that? All you do is, well, I suppose you could start anywhere, but I always start at the top left hand side and you fill in the top complete line. Again, very awkward from this angle. These are just budget pens and they're not the best, to be honest. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn the book round. I'm going to turn it like this. I think that'll be easier. That's easier. Yep, so there's no rules when you're doing these things. Just do whatever feels comfortable to you as long as you're colouring the correct bits. So if you start at the top and do the outermost line like so, and this pen isn't very juicy, it might actually run out on me, which wouldn't be good. I'm going to try using the thicker end, I think. Not really that much better. I would imagine you could possibly use pencil as well. You could use gel pen. I do like doing it in gel pen. However, it uses a lot of ink. And quite often my gel pen runs out before I get to the end of it. And I don't like having to change colours during the picture. So if I'm going to use a gel pen, I need to make sure I've got two of the same colour, just in case I run out. I've never tried it in pencil. Don't know what that would be like. I don't colour in pencil very often, to be fair. I maybe should try more. It's getting difficult to see where one line ends and the other one starts here. Again, it doesn't matter if you go out the lines, sort of. It's just, you do your best, that is all you can do. So if I show you this now, so you can see I've coloured in the topmost line. Doesn't look overly neat, but we'll go with it because I'm just doing this roughly to let you see. So then you move on to, you leave a space and then move on to the next big thick line. Well, I'm saying big thick line, it's not always thick, the lines down there are thin. And where you do come to a line that's just a very, very thin line, still go over it very lightly with whatever colour you're doing. Because if you leave it blank, it looks weird. I might end up having to change pen. We'll see how it goes. Right, so that's the second line done. So you can see what I'm doing there. It's looking really, really streaky. I don't like that, but it's because my pen isn't the best. But I'm going to carry on anyway. If I do need to change pens, I do, but hopefully I won't. So I'll come back to you when I'm halfway through and let you see how it's looking. Here we go, I'm just about halfway through and look how this picture is coming to life. I just think that is amazing. To go from just being lines to being a proper picture with a man's face. I think it's amazing. It's doing really well. You can see where I gave up on the sort of fine tip pen. It was really, the fine end of the pen was just completely drying out, and I went to the thicker tip all the way, even in the thinner bits, because it's much softer and less streaky. But yeah, that is looking really good. I'm not sure who he is. I've seen Frozen 2 once, and that was when it first came out, so I need to do a little bit of consulting with Mr. Google when I finish it to find out who he is. And there it is, the finished picture. I have discovered that it is the Duke of Weselton, and I will put a copy of this exact picture actually that I found on the internet in here as well, so you can compare them. But yeah, it's very detailed and it looks good. Yeah, I quite like that one. This pen, however, is not good. It is now going in the bin. So yeah, that's a line one. Finally, for my dots, I'm going to go back to Stranger Things. And again, you can kind of see the picture here, but you don't know exactly how it's going to look until it's finished. And because I mentioned gel pens, I've put myself in the mood. So I'm going to use a gel pen for this one. And this is, again, so easy. Different from the Frozen one in that it's, you can either do it sort of horizontally or vertically rather than diagonal, but I will get started and show you how you do this. I somehow lost the footage of me starting this, but basically all you do is you colour in every individual circle and leave the spaces between them blank. That's me about halfway through and I like how it's shaping up, although I'm still not sure what character it is yet. Anybody guess? I'm not sure who this is. At first I thought it was going to be Dustin. I thought that was going to be sort of quite curly hair, but I don't think it is. So yeah, we'll wait and see. But this is what I mean about using a lot of ink on a gel pen. This gel pen is very nearly done, so it's a good job I've got another one. Hopefully I will get the whole picture finished between the two of them. But yeah, I'm loving using the gel pen, but it does use a lot of ink. Right, I'm going to carry on with it. Finished. Looking good, and I did have enough ink, just. I'm not sure who it is it Mike maybe? I think it might be Mike, I'm not 100% sure, but it's still a great image. Really, really cool. Is it living? Oh no, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not very great on the characters, but yeah, doesn't that look great? So that's the Frozen 2 and the Stranger Things dots, lines and spirals. I will link them in the description box below. I got them on Amazon. They're only £5 or £6 each, and if they're not your cup of tea, you can get all sorts of themes in this book. You can get One Direction, Harry Potter, Disney characters, animals, The Simpsons, basically anything you could want, you can get it in this type of book. It's fantastic. Just basically go on Amazon and type in dots, lines and spirals and they'll come up. So there you go. That is my Stranger Things and Frozen 2 dots, lines and spirals, and that is how you can turn a load of dots, lines or spirals into amazing pictures without any skill at all and without even using witchcraft. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks everyone. Bye!